Oh man,
Oh man,
broadcast
we
is
live,
live.
man. Hey, I'm up here with my boy. Well, welcome back to Wealth is Gangsta. It's been a while, you know what I'm saying? Been behind the scenes doing the real work in real life, going through the ups and downs of just being an entrepreneur building. But we back, and it's only right that one of the guys I've been trying to make my first interview of my first couple last year as we went through our daily trials and tribulations. My boy Victor Vinziant is in the building today. What's up, Vic?
Hey, what's happening, Playboy? It's good to
Man,
see you,
I'm
man.
glad we finally caught up. We here, you know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah, yeah,
the long awaited is here. You feel me? How you been?
man. I've been pretty good. Been active, moving around. You know what I'm saying? Same as you, up and down. Figuring things out in business and doing the other little work that it takes to, what I'm saying, scale the business. That's what I've really been working on when I really want to capture what I'm saying. So I know what you mean. You know what I'm saying? You always got something in your hand.
Always. There's always something coming that you don't even see coming, even though you try to see everything coming. There's still gonna be some every now and then that catch you blindsided. You feel me? It's just part of
Yeah,
it.
like I got to the point now. We have to do podcasts that actually have a conversation now because we're so busy. We have to really just turn it on and record it. You know what I'm saying? So
And even
it's
when we
kind of
don't,
crazy.
we always talk about we need to because what we talk about is still content that should be recorded. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So hey, this
So
one of the ways I know you got code talking. We're gonna talk about that. I got Wealth is Gangster. So that's the way that we can I look at it as holding each other accountable by staying because sometime in life you can be like, man, that's my boy. I ain't seen him in 4 5 months, because our different lives and stuff. But
yeah,
through this kind of back and forth, through this kind of connection, is building content, but it's still keeping us in bound with each other and what we doing, keeping us more in tune with each other. Even though we see what each other doing from afar, but we so wrapped up and busy what we doing. This is one of the outlets that keeps us entwined. Well, okay, that's my boy. Let me make sure I keep that content. Let me make sure I call him today. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Just that accountability to holding each other up, man. So yeah, I'm
yeah,
excited.
bro. Like I know we're gonna talk more about the accountability piece, but before we turn the camera on went live, I asked you about have you seen the accountable masculinity? You know what I'm saying, manifesto, pretty much that I wrote.
Yeah,
Um,
go kick it off with that. Let's
yeah,
start
so
off there.
you know what I'm saying because you already walked into it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's there already. Let's run with it.
So so let me fire it up and read because I really wasn't even thinking that we were gonna talk about it, but we're gonna run it.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Because
come
we
on,
got to
man.
play catch up. So
I was gonna throw that in there. We can start here. We still gonna go back because I want to cover your army and what got you into entrepreneur. We still gonna go back to the basics, but let's just kick it off
yeah,
with what you run with every day on the live scene.
man. Matter of fact, you know what I'm saying. While you while I'm digging this up really quick, should take me but a second. It'll be up here in a second.
Yeah,
But
but
you
just go
know,
go let them know a little bit about you as you pull it up. Who you
okay,
are, a little bit of background on you as you pull that up.
word. So let me start with this right here. It's my first book that I wrote. I don't know if everybody can see it, but I'm put it right here. And put it right here. This is the code, and it's a blueprint to solidarity among reasonable black people. Reasonable black people.
Great book.
And the intent of the book is to get us all on the same sheet of music. Stop arguing about trivial stuff.
Yeah.
Let's have a conversation about things that matter, and just dissuade people from things that seem interesting but really are distractions, and move forward. I know historically we always been just trying to move forward, and sometimes it looks different. Things are working, but sometimes we need to have a better conversation about what I'm saying, the work that we're doing. You know, like you said, we have to be the ones that line ourselves up. You know what I'm saying? We got to be the ones that hold ourselves accountable, and nobody's coming to save us, right? So um, I operate off of that, and in one of those things, it leads me into a different intellectual space. I started off in real estate. While I was in the Army, I did 12 years and 7 months in the Army. Got out in 2013. Went contracting overseas in Afghanistan for about a cumulative amount of about 4 years. Worked in the intelligence field. Um, then got back to the States in 2017. Worked on Fort Hood, training soldiers. And I did that for about another 3 years. And then somewhere in the course of that, and then COVID transition, contracts changing, uh, transition to a full time self employed entrepreneur. Um, and real estate is my foundation. I do short-term rentals with Airbnb, Booking.com, and whatever other short-term rental platform is out there. Started Turo this year, and it's been going pretty good in the rental car scene.
You know, I was gonna bring that up.
Oh yeah, man. And then meanwhile, we're opening up the shop downtown. It's gonna be, like basically a hub for entrepreneurs. You know what I'm saying? We better do um, small business mixers, business showers, things that are centric to celebrating entrepreneurship and providing some other avenues of encouragement, in areas where it's not easily seen or it's not visible or maybe not accessible. You know what I'm saying? So I just try to take the experience that I've had in my own personal life in the world and my own journeys, you know what I'm saying? Because I've been around, and try to package that all into something that we can all digest and benefit from.
So you're originally from Alabama, right?
Roll damn tide. Yes, sir.
So that's real Alabama. Normally people say, "Yeah, I'm from there," or not. He had to go straight to the top.
Hey, let me go ahead and just skip. Let's just go ahead and skip to that, because somebody gonna want to know.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? I want to go ahead and capture this. We'll see y'all next month in Austin, September the 10th. I just want to. I got it circled. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want to see it.
It's game time.
It's game time. You know what I'm saying? Is that part, the fun part of the year where we kind of mix in, like things that we enjoy, individually, and also creating, you know what I'm saying, the right type of synergy to bring people together so we can capitalize on you know what I'm saying, these economic opportunities and everything. And just try to change our direction. We're trying to pivot right now. That's really what we're all trying to do, pivot. So, yeah, that's about it, man. Like when it comes down to the business, and like I'm doing my podcast live out of there on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Yeah. We got food. It's located on 1315 North 8th Street, downtown Killeen. It's called Create, and CRE number 8. We are still in the early stages of like doing all our marketing and stuff, but we're up and going. But like as far as like when we're gonna have our grand open, we're planning sometime late October, so closer to Halloween, and take advantage of like get the kids something to come hang out and participate with. Temperature will be a little bit cooler, and get the community involved and invest.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna tie into that. So I mean, you got it lined up. Are you ready?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Look, if you go check the private chat, like you can just throw up here. Let me give you a crash course. I like trading work. You know what I'm saying? Because I like when people.
Now, I was watching the private chat. I was looking in there.
Okay, so this is what I want you to do. I want you to highlight accountable masculinity rule number 1. And when you copy that, let me know.
I got it. I copied it.
All right, you remember that tab where you got your banners and stuff?
Yeah.
Go to banners. Copy and paste that text in there, and then just turn the banner on. Like you got to put the text in there first. And you see that, like, look, you're getting the StreamYard class right now too.
I see. It's telling me to show. Oh, okay. I click on that. Okay, I see it.
Edit, and then we should have like an edit or a pencil or something.
Yeah, I see that pencil now. That's what I was just saying.
Then we hit show the banner. Boom. Yeah. Boom. Gotcha. So like you probably don't have all of the text up there, but because
it cuts it off at some point.
Yeah. Well, I think so.
So many words, whatever.
Yeah, but read along with it for me. I've already wrote it, so and I'm bringing you some new information. So tell me when you read this, tell me what you get from it.
Men focus on men. Personal accountability standards amongst reasonable men without discarding women to improve our society. We aim to create solutions for the benefits of men by only discussing tangible outcomes based on our skills and networks.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I'm reading something like that, it's really, like you said, the accountability part. things of what we got to do as a man, and that's something I'm always talking about. It's not about what somebody else needs to do, this, that, and the third. How the community will benefit off us just doing what we need to do as men, standing up as men, taking care of our business as men, building as men. You know what I'm saying? Just how the community, and it's not. And what that one part when you say disregarding our women. See, it ain't about us against our women or without our women.
Degrading our women. Without degrading our women. Like,
Okay,
we got to be able to have conversations that produce solutions without.
that part was cut off. I was okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Like, we want to be able to have our conversations amongst men without having to discuss women. Because if men focus on men, then why are we talking about women anyway?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just that kind of for us, just doing what we need to do as men.
Bingo.
That's part of what society got us wrapped in. Instead of they got us wrapped thinking we got to go back and forth with them instead of just taking care of our business, just doing what we need to do, handling what we need to handle.
Yep.
It's not no man and woman war. It's a war that we all in, that we got to do our parts to.
We got certain roles.
Yeah. And that's a lot of things. See, we don't really look at this as a war. Everybody look at this as, well, it's just my life, this and that. And that's how we lose, because we don't look at it as we need teams. We need, like we always say, we need the numbers. We need, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to make money regardless. I'm going to do my thing regardless. But when we come together, we're more powerful. You see what I'm saying? So we got to get the individual out, or the me, or just this, like, yeah, of course, off top, you got to take care of your home.
Understood.
Let's go without saying. But your home is still in the community, it's still in the city, it's still in the town. You know what I'm saying? So if you just say only my home and forget everything else, you're still living among something that it ain't gonna be good at the end.
That's true. I don't like when people get caught up on words, and sometimes they use words to. They don't realize that it kind of takes the accountability piece out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, like, I chose the word society very specifically because people will either blame society and not try to do anything to make it better, or B, use society as whatever reason to just be a victim and not try anything at all.
Yeah.
Now, the composition of the word society, you know what I'm saying, is social, is the root word, right? So you can't have a society without people. Well, we're the people. So point being is that we ultimately can't just blame society, because we participate in society. So everything that society is used as the reason for, we gave permission to that by not saying no, by not objecting, you know what I'm saying, and not standing what we true to, or keeping up, you know, and there's some boundaries out there. Yeah, of course, you fight the wars that, you know, you fight the fights that make sense to fight, you know what I'm saying, based on your resources and stuff. And when you think of it that way, eventually you just need to find out where you're celebrated at the most, and that's where you need to spend your time. You need to contribute to people that contribute to you. You know what I'm saying? So if men are in the philosophy of being focused on themselves, then eventually when they connect, they'll be useful to each other, because you have to be good at something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To be useful to other people. So if men focus on men, find out what their talents are, everything should really just take care of itself.
That's why I like having these conversations with you, because I know you're gonna, no matter what we talking about, you always got the extra level that ain't nobody else talking about to what we're talking about. Like, everybody could be on schedule and on point, and there's a lot of brilliant minds on this topic, but it's always a different way that you just your input on the same subject is always just different. That's why I love those conversations with you, because you always you see what everybody else seeing, but you just always got another little layer to what we all should be seeing that most of us don't see.
And that's the challenge, though. Look for the other layer. Look for the other layer to make what we're looking at make sense. See, the thing is when you're looking at something, we let time, society, fashion, pop culture, and a whole bunch of other things erode whatever definition, you know what I'm saying, we've been operating off of. Like, we've got to the point now, people can just, you know what I'm saying, accept misspelled words, and then now they'll clown you for misspelling, you know what I'm saying, for correcting the grammar or the spelling. So, like, where do you draw the line? Like, and the thing is, people will accept mistakes as the norm until they spend their money on someone like a lawyer. Like, imagine if a lawyer say, "Hey, my bad, fam. I used the wrong word," and now your case done got lost. You know what I'm saying? Whatever circumstances come out of that.
Yeah. I got you.
You know what I'm saying? But is that acceptable? Because like most people are, like, where do you draw the line? The bar keeps moving. So we have to be the barometers for the culture now. You know what I'm saying? Because, bro, we in our 40s.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What kind of conversation should we be having in our 40s after everything that we recognize in this world and what we're supposed to be doing in order to improve it?
Yeah, it's only a certain level, you know. I mean, believe me, it's plenty of 40 plus that has 20-year-old conversations, but those not the ones that's elevating or doing nothing positive for the community.
And we ain't seeking them out no way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that don't even matter.
Yeah, it don't even matter. So like we only focus on the creators, man, the people that can create something. You know what I'm saying? Meaning opportunity. So, you know what I'm saying? That's where we are right now with it.
Okay. Well, I went to 3 because I got a lot of other questions I want to ask you, but I make sure I want to cover your rules. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if this was a rule you want to cover. You have another.
We don't cover all of them, man. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So like you can pick the rule. We can go through it. It's up to you. Whatever appeals to you and your interest.
No,
I'm game for the explanation.
Okay. I got you.
Man, look, this is why I write so much.
I learned fast. You got me over here doing my thing. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look, you gonna learn something.
Copying and pasting, and I found a way I had cut off some words. That's why I was. Mm-hmm. I see what I did. We just did it again. Hold on.
That's why I broke them up individually so you could just copy and paste the whole thing and just throw it up there. I try to make it easy.
Yeah, it's this rule number 2, I think, is way too long. That's what it's doing.
Yeah, like so with rule number 2, I want you to copy it all the way up to philosophy.
Let me see if that.
And then we can put that up there. The last part of it, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's when you read it, it was just rounding out the topic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you. It's cutting off and engaging in.
Well, let me see what I got over here.
Yes.
But you can ask something else, man, because like I can come back to this. I'll get these. I got these notes right here on standby.
So did you grow up in a business household? What made you? I know you went to the Army and everything. What got you into like business, entrepreneurship, investing? Was that something like you grew up with? Was it a dad, uncle, somebody inspired you? Or was that something that maybe in the military? When did you get introduced and inspired to get into the business/investing world?
When did I get inspired? I would say it was a combination of stuff, man. It was like I grew up, you know how like hindsight, you don't see these things until, you know, you start getting older and you start looking back at, you know, like where did you get your examples from? Yeah. And one of the major examples that I had was my granddad used to make barbecue grills.
Okay.
So he would cut the drums, do customs, and you know what I'm saying? And he stayed working, you know what I'm saying? So I always admired that about him. And then that bled over in a lot of different other avenues, you know what I'm saying, especially when it comes down to like work ethic and stuff. So I think I was more of a mixed bag, you know what I'm saying? Because like my dad, you know, he was a janitor. Let's see what else. He was a hardworking dude, man. Did a lot of stuff around the house, you know what I'm saying? Grew up in 2-parent household, took care of me and my brother and my mom. He passed in 2018, and he left me with a lot of gems, you know what I'm saying? So like when he passed, I felt some initial hurt because, you know what I'm saying, of course, you know, you got just the loss of a parent, but like I've been living off of his wisdom in so many different ways that
he gained you. You were prepared.
I was prepared. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, most of us not. You know what I'm saying?
Most of us are not. And the thing is, right? Like the worst thing you could ever be as a human being is a burden to another human being. You know what I'm saying? So I learned to stay away from that. You know what I'm saying? And I could see it coming because I didn't have to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? So uh, not in a negative way that is, but
Yeah, I got you.
you know, I just learned a lot, man, and I think everything that I learned began to translate into entrepreneurship and a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? So it's a real mixed bag. And then I just knew that everything that I was good at, um, I knew I couldn't work for a regular place of employment. You know what I'm saying? For a very long period of time. You know what I'm saying? So I had to hurry up and translate everything that I had learned and saw and that I was good at, and find my way. So while I was in the army, I got used to running, what I'm saying, different organizations and stuff like that, or whatever it may be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I start putting it all together, and I was like, man, I'm really running like a project, like I'm a project manager to some degree or whatever, right? And then it just it just kept, like adding up. It was a period of time when I started recognizing what I was capable of doing.
Yeah.
And then it became apparent to me that I was meant to be in business for myself. I wasn't meant to work for nobody. But I had to do it in a tactful way,
Yeah.
So I kept maneuvering and, what I'm saying, and figuring it out. And I knew real estate was going to be key to it. And, jumping in and buying my first property in like '09. And, I just kept capitalizing off of it. And eventually, like I never had an innate desire to become an entrepreneur, but evolution, economics, and history, you know what I'm saying, proved that that's what I was meant to be doing.
Yeah.
So the other stuff is along the way, you know what I'm saying, like writing books and, podcasts and content like this right here. It's just me writing it down and, what I'm saying, just figuring out what works for me, Um, I just feel like, at some point, entrepreneurship and being a revolutionary just kind of cross paths to me. So I figure out my own way. So, but I got the rules pulled up, man.
Yeah, I
So
see you. I got it up on the screen.
look
So,
at you over there taking some initiative, moving
hey,
some stuff around.
I told you I'm a quick learner, man. You know what I'm saying? All you
Yeah,
gotta do is you
use.
gotta open the door for me. Just crack open the window. I get up in there. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead and break it down to us, man. Take us in your mind and how in your breakdown on this.
Okay, so we on rule number 2 right now, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
let me see here. So on rule number 2, we don't argue with women. And period, point blank. You know what I'm saying? Like there's really not much else to go after that. I say we don't argue, but I got with women in parentheses.
Yeah.
But the reality is that women have their own issues and so do men. We can learn to mitigate our issues by observing the conflict management skills of women instead of engaging in cyclic negative competitions and unhealthy conflicts between women and implementing the findings into our philosophy. What's understood doesn't need to be said. Accountable men have code. We want solutions-based conversations. Meaning that if the conversation don't produce anything, like what's the trophy? You know what I'm saying? What's the trophy for the argument that you in? Like if you win the argument, what do you get for it? For real. If she wins the argument, what do you get for it? And that's like, if at any point you feel like you have to ask yourself that question, that's really an invitation for you to leave the conversation.
Yeah.
Because at this stage, with all of this information that's out here and who knows who and, the networks that we have available to us, where do you make time to argue about things, you know what I'm saying, that don't, that you don't benefit from? So that's ultimately it. Generally speaking, men don't argue when we're around each other. And if we do, it's usually over something of value. You know what I'm saying? We usually make the argument count. If we can't make the argument count and the person is productive, unproductive or counterproductive, then we figure how to work around and phase that individual out of the picture altogether. You know what I'm saying? There's ways to do it where it doesn't have to result in a negative outcome. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
So my point being is that if men are focused on men, why are you arguing with women? So, because if you're confused, go back to rule number one.
Yeah. So reread it.
Reread it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way that you should get down here and rule two and be arguing, be beefing, be confused if you focused on yourself.
Yeah. But you know where a lot of that come from, and I have this conversation. I think I even brought it up at the last Black Man Brunch. I'm not sure, but I have it all the time. Most men, especially from my community, we were raised by single mothers, so that's one of the parts of the single mother that we carry. That's why a lot of men do argue and go back and forth all day, because
absolutely,
that's a fashion of our single mother that we took and we just ran with it,
bro. I used to get into. I used to get a lot of negative feedback. I wouldn't say get into no debates and then like that. I didn't have really nothing to debate about because I used to say what I say just as thorough from the get go because I usually wait for the fallout, you know. But I said something one time to a guy, and of course he didn't respond to it very well. And I said, hey man, you acting like a man with his mama's last name. And he had to stop for a second though. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, look. I said, well, like, think about it.
So I ain't never heard that one.
Well, think about it though. Well, you can't talk about single mothers, right?
Yeah.
And men without talking about the potential of having a mama's last names.
Yeah.
And there's a big difference in men who was raised with their dads. And when I say that, I'm talking about men who have their father's last name and have a connection with those men that have raised them. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But in most cases, if a man got his mama's last name, probably because the daddy wasn't present and wasn't able to teach a lot of the masculine skills that go into a man being able to sustain himself on his own. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a shot. It just sounds very, very spicy to people who have their mama's last names.
Yeah, it's just the reality. It's just, it is what it is.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's not a shot. It's just what
it's not a shot. It is an absolute fact, and it's a hard conversation.
It's all to get better. If we don't, it's like rehab. They say if you can't even admit to it, how you gonna benefit and move past it? You know what I'm saying? We have to understand that because I caught that within myself. How I used to get mad. How I used to react like, hold on. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I was one of the ones that I do got a dad last name, but when my mama left him, I was like 9. You know what I'm saying? Like by 11, I was in the streets. See how fast it went. You know, see how fast it changed when we was in the 4 kids with parents, and she left him, and he wasn't in jail or nothing. She just left him, and then we were from my house to the Mellow Village apartments to single mothers to me in the streets 2 years later. That's how fast it changed. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I want to bring some attention to that narrative, and then let men like you who can accept that narrative and know that you don't fit the behavior because you're changing it. You see what I'm saying? Sure. And we got another guy on the other podcast that I'm on called Elevated Dialogue. His name is Chris, and he saw that statement from me, and he said, you know what, you're right, because he's been reprogramming. You know what I'm saying? The way he's been seeing the world because he was raised by a single mother. You know what I'm saying? Completely different environment, completely different perspective, but some of the same things that we able to nail down quickly, you know what I'm saying, between us. Like once a man says, you know what, I know that I got to work on that part about myself, then it ain't nothing else to dwell on because I can't help you get out of that space.
Yeah.
But you recognize how you're being viewed because you want to be accountable to your brothers. You know what I'm saying? So if we always go back to rule number 1, and we figure out how to be the best version of man that we are or should be, you got to go look towards other men that behave in a way that's conducive to the outcome that you want.
Yeah.
And when you start looking at that, most of those men don't move the way a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, move. So we got to figure out which side of it we want to be on because ultimately every man gets to the same point in life. You want to be like me, you want to be like you want to be like us, or you want to be like them. And you got to make sure you got enough equity in the game, you know what I'm saying, to be able to say, I'm the standard or I need to do better. But you're not going to find that conversation useful unless you follow rule number 1.
I always go back to the rule number one.
Come on,
Say no matter what, we're gonna always lead back to rule number one. It sets you up for the rest.
yeah, because you got to think about it, man. The whole point of us having to say rule number one and men focus on men is because people are easily distracted.
Yeah.
So you got to remind them, if you get distracted, go back to rule number one.
Especially these
That's
days.
why we're talking about focus, right? So
yeah, got to focus. Man, that's big. Okay, well let's go ahead and get into your decentralized leadership. What you was hitting them with that? What's your
okay,
what went across your mind when you was coming with this one?
Okay, so it requires knowing when to lead and when to follow. Must avoid misrepresenting fellow men, and although we are not perfect, we must have redeeming efforts. So in decentralized leadership, you want to have anybody can be the leader, anybody can be the boss.
Yeah.
Okay, I ain't around. Tony, you know what I'm saying, holding down things for me. They treat you like they treat me,
Yeah.
and vice versa if I'm in your place.
Yeah.
There's no loss of credibility as far as leadership and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? We all recognize what we're here to do in terms of supporting each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That goes into knowing when to lead and when to follow. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm on your platform. I need to understand your language. You know what I'm saying? I need to understand what's important to you, what's important to the people that's watching, you know what I'm saying, your content, and do my part to add value. And in doing so, I must avoid misrepresenting your platform as well. You know what I'm saying? Because I wouldn't want you to come to mind, you know what I'm saying, mishandling my platform.
Yeah.
So it's a custom and courtesy.
Knowing where you at and knowing the politics within this situation. That's all. And like you say, when you're leading with that respect, it's gonna fall. It's gonna most of the time fall in place anyway. But just knowing, having that already knowing. Like one thing we say, I know you got the book Code Talking, and you talk about code all the time. And I want to get your perspective on this because one of the groups that I'm a part of, you know, we push a lot of, you know, the what do for ourselves and build for ourselves thing. So we always say, because, you know, especially when it comes to our people, we always looking for a leader like, you know, MLK, that type of leader. And then when society kills them or that person dies, that everybody just through. And that's what we always say. The one person is not the leader. The code is the leader. See, if me and you on code, no matter what happens to us, that code still is there.
Yeah.
And as long as we implant it in hundreds of people, thousands of people, no matter who's there, who's not, it still lives on because the code, not that one person with the leadership, the way we process, the way we think, the like-mindedness, that lives forever.
The ideology, and that's the thing.
Yes,
like
sir.
when you have an ideology and you stay consistent with it, and it's not outside the boundaries of infringing on other people's safety and well-being, it can't be stopped. It just can't, especially if it's not founded in anything negative. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which is why the last part of Rule 3 is, although we are not perfect, we must have redeeming efforts.
Yes.
Like, you're going to make mistakes, but it's certain mistakes you can't make.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's some deal breakers.
Well, it's some deal breakers out there, and I think we all know what they are. You know what I'm saying? If you're out here doing negative deeds towards women and children, you automatically out of there.
Yeah.
You can't get caught up in no child pornography stuff situations. There's certain things, like, I know that that's kind of extreme, but your name can't be affiliated with things that are negative narratives, because that's how our, you know what I'm saying, narratives have failed to be sustained.
Yeah.
You know, it's just different it's a different code, man. Like, you got to come up to a higher standard. So there's certain things you can't participate in, right? We look at teachers funny when they get involved in situations with students and they don't get held accountable, right? We look at the same thing about negligent law enforcement. We look at the lack of accountability in you know what I'm saying, the way laws are written and who they target with those laws and the structures that go along to support them. If we do things that put us in those situations where we have to fight the system, you know what I'm saying, from inside of it instead of outside of it, it dampens the credibility of the, you know what I'm saying, of the ideology, you know. So we have to make sure we're not putting ourselves in negative, you know what I'm saying, in too many unfortunate situations, and not on purpose. And so that's why I said the redeeming effort piece is important. It's certain things you can happen to you that's outside your control. And if we got the right foundation, you know what I'm saying, the right support, we can counter it. We can live to fight another day. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you have to do that.
Okay. That's deep. Okay, let's wrap it up with number 4 before we move on to the other parts of the interview. You know, let's end with number 4. Why did you only stop with 4? Is that just the number that you picked out, or those just the part? It was just strategic, or what? Let me know about the number.
Very
4.
strategic.
Okay.
Took 4 because number 1 is a low number.
Yeah. You got to keep the attention. You don't want to give them too much.
Yeah, got to keep the attention. Because even if you only remember, you know what I'm saying, like the main terminology of rule number 1, men focus on men, right?
Yeah.
And let's say you don't know everything else behind it. Rule number 2, we don't argue. So you should be so focused that you don't have time to argue.
Yeah, for real.
And number 1 and 2 are some of the core foundations of building a good leader, right? Yeah. About discernment and discretion, you know, knowing when to open your mouth and when to just observe, which brings us to number 3, which is decentralized leadership, because we are building more leaders as we go in this process. Okay, so at this point, we got new leaders. And then down here, after you got leaders that have been seasoned, experienced, we start having a different conversation. We start talking about legacy and equity. You know what I'm saying? The equity is the work that you've done in the community, right? On behalf of your network and people that you contribute to. Somebody called Tony right now. They can't say Tony ain't never put them on nothing. You know what I'm saying? Positive, right? Yeah. So you contributed already. What your legacy is what happens when you don't want to talk no more and people go find out, you know what I'm saying, what you had to contribute. So this is why these two go hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? What did you do with your time? And in that, this is what we want to do primarily. Live a life of service towards your community and others. Pretty self-explanatory. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Take care of others first. You don't get taken care of in the process if you're doing what you're supposed to do. You must be credible and capable of both mentoring and being mentored.
Facts.
You must be credible and capable. It's cool to start somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's why all of this work right here being tied together is going to build up your credibility. Once you're credible, you're already credible because you're capable, right? But you also have to be capable of mentoring, because you got to give the game away too. And you have to be coachable enough to be mentored, because you got to keep getting new information, because the people that you gave the game to, they coming back. So, which goes right into, you must be receptive and coachable. Self-explanatory. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be able to instill knowledge and wisdom into others, because it's an act of submission and it's a privilege. Once somebody gives you something, it's selfish to hold on to it, especially if you're not going to even benefit from it, especially if you're not going to do anything with it. It's up to you to give it to somebody that can do more with it than you. So you see it all the time, in you work with thrift stores. You know what I'm saying? You that's your business. You see people give things away that could probably go for a different dollar amount, but you ain't busting nobody's head because you want other people to have an opportunity too. You know what I'm saying?
You pass it on. Yeah, you pass on the love. Somebody gave you something, you bless them. They could have paid 50 for it. They come here and they get it for 20. I got blessed. You got blessed. We all win. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody win. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so like in down to rule number 4, and that's pretty much this. I think this is the most important rule, because like the other things right here, these generally are traits that most men in this conversation already have or already doing.
Yeah.
But seeing the words, they should be in alignment a little bit better. Maybe should just become more efficient. I'm not telling people what to do,
Yeah.
but this is my blueprint. You know what I'm saying? And what works for me. And somebody asked, well, what's the point of all these rules, right? And this is why we only have 4, because ultimately, if we take those 4 rules and we look at what we're trying to do with it, accountable masculinity intends to destroy the alpha beta competition. We have to end unhealthy competitions in our formation. You see what I'm saying? Before they even begin. The goal is simply to be better and accountable on behalf of your relative culture. So it don't matter where you live, this is still useful because you're supposed to be able to take these 4 rules and laws and integrate them and adapt to your surroundings every time.
Yeah.
Stuff that you already have to do or already doing, and maybe just haven't put the context around it. You know what I'm saying? So we are obligated as men to be in position to coach, teach, and mentor. When you know better, you should you not do better. It's not just avoid burning bridges. It's avoid destroying access to resources that protect you. It's different. You see what I'm saying? Like people all the time say don't burn a bridge. And they know what that means. And some people probably don't. But you're destroying other people's access to you too when you burn bridges. Because your connection to other people isn't just for you, it's for other people that's connected to you also. Yeah. So sometimes you gotta have steaks with snakes to make a play.
For real. For real.
And this part right here, you don't have to be a humble man. You just have to possess the capacity to display humility. Okay? You started off earlier saying that we're at war, you know? And in that concept, I'm all on board with it. So ain't no time for weakness. And if you go look up the definition of the word humble online,
it says I tell people that all the time. Go ahead and finish.
It says defeated.
Yeah.
And the very next thing I say is, I am not humble. I'm not.
Yeah.
We've done too much to be humble. Yeah. But I can create spaces for humility and be appreciative of things that come to me. There's I don't see the difference in that. You know what I'm saying? Because should you not be proud of the things that you've accomplished thus far in life based on your start point?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Especially when we've spent parts of our youth standing on other people's furniture and other people's clubs, pouring out other people's liquor.
Trying to figure it out. It wasn't like set up for us. We had to figure it out. So you ought to be. And let me just add this in because I talk about that. I bring that up all the time. And and it's only in our culture that comes in. And I think it's kind of like a way to kind of like wish bad upon you or something like that, because I'll be around. I'll be around. Like I tell people all the time, I say I got like 7, 8 millionaire numbers in my phone, and I got partners that ain't got a dollar to their name in my phone. So it keep me balanced in the middle. I know both sides of it, and I know if I play my parts right, I can be on this side. If I don't, I can be on that side, right? But I only hear "stay humble," those kind of catchphrases from people that's part of the have-nots, and I started thinking about it. I never heard that from that same type of talk from people that have it. You know what I'm saying? And I said, well, maybe it's a way for the people to make themselves feel better about not accomplishing things, not going to that another level. So if you're doing this, and I call it wealth shaming. I started that last year when I first kicked off. I said, just like fat shame, you're not going to wealth shame me, because when you start, like I come from the streets, I was a runaway, I was all that. But now I'm talking about stocks, bonds, real estate, this and that. And some people that came from where I came from be like, oh, he think he better, he think this, or he trying to use this. And I'm like, if I was in the same place as being humble, because I think a lot of people that come from that level, or just poverty and stuff, it's a way to you better be humble because God can take it back away, or this and that, or that and this. I'm like, why would you even say that? But I think it's instilled in us to say that because it makes us feel better, or it's a scare tactic to the ones that are trying to go to the next level. What do you think about that?
I think people only know what they. I think people only can speak on what they experienced.
Yeah.
So like, it's projecting. You know what I'm saying? So
definitely projecting.
I can't buy into somebody else's projections. You know what I'm saying? You don't get to put parameters on my life.
Yeah.
Like we would never have entertainers as good as we have if they stayed in the boxes that other people felt comfortable leaving them in.
Yeah.
That's why I say I ain't humble. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna go ahead and just get out the box and not even pretend. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me confused with other people. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't get you confused with nobody else. I assume that you are what you are when you present it. You know what I'm saying? And I could tell people that have the capacity to create spaces for other people, that in itself is an act of submission. So like the act of submission in terms of creating space for other people displays the humility that other people like to call humble. Because I ain't got to let you have no access to my space, right?
Yeah.
But if I believe that we are all, you know what I'm saying, from a creator, whatever your choice of creator is, and we created in the creator's image, shouldn't you be creating?
It makes sense to me.
So like it's a privilege to go out and create, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you create on behalf of other people. If you create on behalf of other people, they're gonna be appreciative of that anyway, right? So what does adding being humble to it mean?
And that's what I'm saying.
Because if actions speak louder than words, you need to pay attention to what I do and not just what I write and what I say.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's why I think it's just a mental thing, just to say it ain't really there's not even really there's nothing behind it besides the stigma of just, oh, you can always fall down. You can, of course, we all know that. That's why we work hard to not fall down. But I don't need you to tell me to be humble because I got a potential of not succeeding or not falling. That comes with the averages of just going after it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you know?
That's just the law of averages. Yeah, you're not gonna win on every play. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you're gonna fail at your own lack of merit. Sometimes you're gonna fail at other people's. You know.
Yeah.
But that's your lesson and that's your journey. And even if it did happen to you and you took the most major L from it, who you gonna tell that can understand it?
Exactly.
So why I gotta be humble for people that don't even do what I do?
Yeah.
I earned the space to have the opinions that I got based on the experience that I had. You know what I'm saying? That in itself shows that you're willing to be coached, mentored, instructed. You're willing to follow. I don't know what composition of humble that people are looking for, but just being accountable in itself implies that you have a level of humility. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So we got to stop getting stuck on words, and that lead to us projecting our insecurities because most people ain't got nothing to give but their insecurities, fam. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to listen to none of those people.
Yeah.
They need to go back to rule number one.
So you got to put on some shirts. You got to print on some shirts. I always send them back to rule number one.
Rule number one, fam. Yeah, go back to rule number one.
Hey, no matter what you're going through, go back to rule number one. So
and if you say, well, what's rule number one? You ain't got no code.
Yeah. You should already know when we say rule number one. You should already know what we talk about. They say what's understood don't need to be spoken on.
What's understood don't need to be spoken. You know. So yeah, after that, you see how much information, see how much conversation is just in I'm not humble.
Yeah. We took that and ran with it for a few.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So right after that, we got survival mode negates accountable masculinity. Men should be working to get into resource positions to avoid pouring from empty cups that survival mode affords. Keep in mind, you can only have what you can afford. What does your brand of masculinity afford you?
Huh?
Yeah,
I like that. I ain't never heard it put like that. What does your brand of masculinity afford you?
Because we're talking about men that are accountable, men that have skills, men that can teach other men that can train and lead societies, right? So all of us have a different brand. Like you are centric, focused on the youth. You know what I'm saying? With CEO Youth League, things that teach children a different way of thinking early on, right? Just trying to get them into a entrepreneurial mindset. You know what I'm saying? That's your brand of masculinity, and can't nobody take that from you. Can't nobody come in and tell Tony what he's doing right or wrong on that.
Yeah.
But Tony's open to suggestions. He can open the floor up to input and investors to take what they got to offer.
Always, yeah.
But because since you're credible and capable and you're already doing that type of work, it's easier to bring people closer to you so they can enhance what you're doing, right? So you owe it to the network to be doing better next year than you were the previous year, so you can still add value to that network. Because, like, what if you pause, right? And everybody scales in a way where you can't even help them no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. Maybe you got to adjust your access to that network. You know what I'm saying? And maybe you got to dial it back over here. You got to make some adjustments, just period. You got to adapt, right? And just like you said, you wanted to get back in front of the camera, start recording content, and everything else has been, up and down, like where we started at, with the year. But at some point, you knew that this was part of what you're trying to accomplish in your greater plan. You know what I'm saying? And accountable masculinity, this is for men with purpose, okay? Like, once you have a purpose, this thing is designed to enhance and protect your purpose. It's designed to give you left and right limitations. You know what I'm saying? I've gone too far. This, when I meet resistance, it's not a negative thing. It's just my boundary. You know what I'm saying? We have to get out of unhealthy cyclic competitions that produce no tangible outcomes that benefit our community.
No, that. Say, man, I think you need to put this. Need to be like a booklet or something. You know what I'm saying? It needs to be like something you pass on, like them little church books or something.
Yeah, it's going out, man. Hey, Code Talk is slowly becoming, what I'm saying, the Accountable Masculinity podcast. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of stuff that we don't have to discuss. You know what I'm saying? When we got these different laws up, it maintains, what I'm saying, structure. We have to have ways that we can go back and reference the information that we brought in. Know where it's stored. You know what I'm saying? Because in with so much information, like we get inundated and then drown in the specifics. Like, you might know 17 different headlines, you know what I'm saying, right now, have situational awareness of them, right? Real easy to do with the way information comes to you between, what I'm saying, different social media platforms, from IG to Twitter, Facebook, pick whatever you like, right?
Yeah.
And then you get even more sources of information when you got certain people in your network, because some people are going to text you directly about something, right? But how many of those 17 topics and maybe the 4 or 5 miscellaneous topics that I kind of like threw in to the side have you studied in and out in a 24-hour day? And how many of those topics that you care passionately about now have you gone to follow up on previous information on? How long have you been paying attention to a particular situation before, you know what I'm saying, you speak on on the topic? Because we got to be accountable about the things that we react to, because people capture sound bites from us and misquote us, misrepresent us. So you got to be careful about where you have your conversations and the manner in which you have them. What's the context of why you're having a conversation, So everything matters. How it's dressed and how it's presented is because one of the major things that I harp on in our culture is that one of the greatest miseducations in our culture is everybody else being miseducated about Black people. So part of everybody else being miseducated about us is everybody else was writing our narratives. Everybody else was miseducating everyone else about us with their snap judgments, poorly researched points, and what I'm saying, and poorly sourced information, poorly polled, however you want to look at it. It's just misinformation. Well, instead of complaining about the misinformation everybody else has digested, I wrote my own, you know what I'm saying? And it's on behalf of everybody else because it has to go beyond me, you know what I'm saying, in order for me to serve my purpose correctly. Because, you know what I'm saying, my purpose doesn't serve me. It takes care of me along the way, but I have to serve my purpose in order to benefit from it. You know what I'm saying? So getting up every day with something that is positive is a value add, and knowing that I've got enough time and experience to be able to stand in that gives me a lot more reassurance that what I do every day matters and what I do every day counts, even if somebody else doesn't like it, because nobody's going to like you every day. You know what I'm saying? You can't please everybody. You're going to upset people that you love. And, you know what I'm saying? You just got to be careful not to get into the wrong conversations with people that are not raised in love.
Yeah.
Hey, boy, being raised in love and raised outside of it is the difference between somebody using their emotions the wrong way or not.
Yeah. For real. Them facts right there, man.
But when you're raised in love, you don't want to see nobody lose.
Yeah. It's all about winning. When you raised without it, then you get mad when somebody else is winning. It just does something to you. And some people don't even know that they get mad. Like you over there boiling because this guy winning. You don't even have no reason. It's just in you because you wasn't raised with the love and all that. That's big.
Man, look, raised in love versus being raised in survival produces two different types of people, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and I use just those two examples. Some people can be raised in struggle.
Yeah.
And that might be different than survival for them, because survival might be life or death for somebody else, and other people just might be economic struggle, might be education struggle.
Yeah.
It may be a resource-based struggle. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just goes down the rabbit hole because everybody doesn't have the same start point, but everybody comes to the same decision at some point. I want to do better, so I need to learn more so I can do better. And once I do that, then I get to decide what kind of person I want to be. And then again, you're gonna be like me, you're gonna be like you, you're gonna be like us, you're gonna be like them. You know what I'm saying? Because at some point you standing on one side of, you know what I'm saying, that decision-making matrix. You gotta pivot.
That's facts, man. Well, I got my copy right here, so I definitely want you to tell them a little bit about, you know what I'm saying, the business of me. You know, I see it behind there. Yeah, I don't want
yeah. Let me swap them out.
But we haven't showed that one yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, you know, when you get wrapped up in, you know, like just trying to make your point and trying to be credible, not trying to ruffle the wrong feathers because you want your content digested. You have to anticipate that somebody's going to want to know more about you. Yeah. And I titled this book "The Business of Me" because I don't want it to be confused. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've transitioned into this book was me transitioning from I guess just somebody with an opinion about things, and then I had to literally, like, when I was writing the code, I extracted pieces of the code that I felt like would be more beneficial in the business of me, because the code was like me writing my laws for myself based on my own journey. You know what I'm saying? Good, bad, and indifferent. And I knew that somebody was gonna look at the code and be like, man, who wrote this? The imagery, the symbolism, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna create a whole bunch of different conversations because people argue over the Bible and they ain't got no pictures in it. You know what I'm saying? So
Illuminati, they gonna say, is he part of Illuminati? Is he
all of that, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and,
you know how it goes.
And so I took a second and I decided to be a little bit more vulnerable. And the version of the code that I wrote, I took out pieces that was more about me. You know what I'm saying? And I wrote The Business of Me. So The Business of Me is a more insightful journey into a certain period of my life, you know, where I was able to reflect, look backwards, look forwards, and, you know what I'm saying, and where I was individually in my life, which allowed me to write the code. You know what I'm saying? So The Business of Me is just me kind of preempting people asking questions about the author, because I didn't really put my face on the first book. I got it on the back of the cover, you know what I'm saying? But like, I just threw myself out there as is. Like, even when I took that picture, man, I think I had left work that day, and you know what I'm saying, I didn't get no cut.
Yeah,
I just went raw. I was like, I think it was like a Wednesday or something. Shout out to Candice Cooper, who took my book cover photo. Shout out to SL Elite Publishing. You know what I'm saying? Because this book was actually like my networking tool. Like, I wanted somebody else to publish it. I wanted somebody else to do the extra work, because I had been looking at my own work for so long. I needed somebody else to see it. You know, so like your first eyes is gonna be your editor. You know what I'm saying? So when they look at it, they can either attach to the story, see the structure of it or not. They're gonna be able to correct you. You know, and I wanted this one to be right. So, you know, it's just my personal journey and some of the coded language that I was able to decipher in life. You know what I'm saying? From my early years as a child. You know what I'm saying? The lessons I got from my dad, from my mom. You know, just little pieces of it.
Yeah, all the way up to relationship. You got all the way up in there. You got
Yeah, we're in, right?
yeah, you went up in there. Well, I want you to send me the all your contact and stuff. I mean, I'm gonna have you say it, but I want to put it at the bottom of the screen too. While I ask you about your brand, about your clothing. I see you got your shirt on.
Oh
I see
man, yeah.
you got the jumpsuit. So tell us about your vision for that, or what maybe inspired you, your vision for it, and where you see it going.
I just sent you my link tree in the private chat. When you click that, it'll spread out and you better pick from it. You know what I'm saying? To see everything that's on there too.
Okay.
Clothing. So the clothing came about because in real estate, you just like you and I got connected off of real estate.
Yeah.
And then as we started trading information and philosophies on stuff, which brings us to here. You know what I'm saying? And again, this isn't even a thing that we're good at. You know what I'm saying? We're good at holding a conversation, but like loyal to, you know what I'm saying, the screen time, doing content, stuff like that, we got to get better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and it makes me think about, I wonder how many people that do everything that we do that don't even show anybody. You know what I'm saying? Because it's got to be more of those than not. And so as you start building a foundation and everybody knows you about it, you know what I'm saying, knows what you're about, it just started becoming a natural course of progression. You know what I'm saying? I knew I was going to market some stuff. I knew I was going to, sell some stuff, and you know what I'm saying? And go from there. I was like, well, I'm a big dude, so most shirts don't fit me the right way. And I started getting my clothes done custom. And I was like, I'm going to throw my logo on there, you know what I'm saying? See what it looks like. And then it kind of just went from there. And we kind of still like in the early stages of everything, you know what I'm saying? But, for by and large, hey man, I just want to take a stab at it and see if it works. You know what I'm saying? Like if people support my books, they'll damn sure put a shirt on.
Yeah. And like you say, bless you. And like you say, it's a part of the brand. You know what I'm saying? Because now every time I'm seeing you, I'm looking for, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking for it because it became part of you now. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly.
So I'm looking for the double V on the hoodie or the you know what I'm saying? Like it's part of you, and that's what the branding is a part of. So you already succeeded at that part. You know?
Yeah, and that was the thing, man. It's like it's the essence of being a man, bro. Like you got to be able to wear your name. Yeah. That's one of the things. Like being in the Army taught me. See, follow and subscribe to my YouTube. Yeah, one of the things that the Army taught me was that we're gonna call you by your name, and nobody gonna get you confused. You know what I'm saying? So I've been walking around with my name on me all my life. You know what I'm saying? It's part of my life that matters.
Yeah, so it's just second nature.
For real. So
because truth be told, all these name brands that we wearing and we love,
it's somebody else's name.
Somebody else's name. That's all it is.
That's really all it is.
That's all it is. You know, everything. We don't. I think a lot of people don't really realize that all these names are somebody's last name. Like 90+% of them are somebody's last name. You know, I don't care what you're talking about, from the clothing to the fanciest car to the restaurant. It's somebody's last name.
Man, you wearing somebody else's intellectual property.
Yeah.
And here I am over here writing books. You know what I'm saying? Doing whatever I do on social media in terms of just sparking good conversations and debates. Not even debates, dialogue, you know. If that's what's centric to me in terms of like how I believe in my intellectual property enough to publish it, I'm not gonna be afraid to brand something and put my name on it and wear it. You know what I'm saying? So I think the intent of my clothing is designed to inspire people to wear their name, you know what I'm saying, and put it on, you know. And when they get up and walk out of the house, you know what I'm saying, they put their chin up. Like, look, if you are a person that believes that they have to contribute, they have to be the thing that they want, then that's what my clothing line is designed to, you know what I'm saying, inspire. It's designed to get people to become, you know what I'm saying, to dress the part that they play in life.
Yeah. Nah, I like that. I'm definitely digging it. I like that, and I just love because I've been knowing you. We met at I Was it a real? Was that a real estate that when we met at that hotel? Was that a real estate thing or just a business thing? Because now I don't think it was just real estate. Because
No, it was a
yeah, it was just it was just by
it was
entrepreneurs.
a mixer. It was an entrepreneur mixer. It
Yeah.
was like
Okay.
yeah. We met and we were connected on real estate, and there was a lot of people just trying to get at me about different ideas and stuff at the time with what I was doing, but like I didn't want to just go there and and just make connections in one lane. I wanted to have something to contribute when I came there. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be beneficial to other people because I knew that people were going to have something that I could benefit from too. Like the missing pieces to my structure out there. You know what I'm saying? I know it, and I don't have to work hard to find them. I think that what I want to do is meet experts in it at this point.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, because
added to whatever you already got going on, that what builds it. Because a lot of people think you should be the expert in everything. That's a losing strategy right there. you be great at what you great at, and just surround yourself with people that's great at what they're great at.
I don't. I tell you what, the most successful people that are in my network, none of them are experts at anything but their networks and knowing what their networks can do for what they got.
Yeah.
Because the thing that you thought you knew 3 years ago might not even be relevant right now.
Yeah, it's not. Most of it's not. Most of it is not, and you gotta know that, and you gotta be willing to. And that's one thing I learned as I teach the youth and all that, and push the youth. I'm becoming a better student, trying to teach the youth about being, trying to teach them. I'm becoming a better student because now I have to research and study, and I need to know what I'm talking about. It's one thing to kind of just know of this and know of that, but now I'm seeking out more knowledge because I always want to give it out. I always want to get it. And I had a lady tell me, she's like, you're kind of like a financial advisor. I'm like, no, I'm not. She's like, yeah, you are. I said, no, I learned something and I come back and give it to the team or the people I know. She said, well, that's what financial advisors do. But I don't look at it like that. I just look at it. My partner, you gave me some game on some Airbnbs or something. Man, I'm going to tell my partner that, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, my boy over here with this Airbnbs or my boy with this Turo, it ain't, I might know some numbers and factual actuals on each situation, but the overall thing is I got some game and I'm giving it, And like you said that earlier about, it's not accountable. If you don't, you're not being accountable to your people. If you don't, you just hold on to it.
Yep. And then the other part on it, like there comes a threshold too, because you can only give until you can afford to, you can only give is what you can afford.
Yeah.
So at some point, like when I talked about being pouring from an empty cup, you have to demand your work too. So like, for instance, I've given out enough information. Now my consults are $200. You know what I'm saying? And like outside of me trading work with you on something like this right here, if you want some down and dirty details, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me go ahead and give you the number for Cash App, so you just go ahead and get your boy up. You know what I'm saying?
And I love that you brought that up because it's levels to it, right? Like when I give out when people ask me how much it charge to be in the CLU fleet, I always say free initially because my first thing is I'm just there to inspire the kids, plant a seed or two. But now, like you said, it gets to another level. Okay, well now I got curriculums, now I got a course. This gonna cost. I still give you the flat line, just the basic plant seeds and you know what I'm saying, and get that going. But it's another level that's gonna cost you. And that's just life. That's what it is. Like if somebody asks you something basic, you're like, okay, well, yeah, try that out or something. You'll give them a basic floor. But if they trying to get, like you say, some game, like you trying to help, you want me to help change your life with some information, you need to pour back into me and pay for this consultation.
And look, and what's crazy is that that's an uncomfortable space to be in, to demand money when you have done so much just off the love and off the strength, and you're a giver. But like, you got to really put some brakes on some things, man. And
it's necessary.
Because like, honestly, I would almost say this: we probably giving more information to people that never acted on the information.
Oh yeah.
And that's infringed on the time that you and I have had to even have a conversation.
Yeah.
When you think about all like the cumulative amount of time that you've wasted with people, and I say wasted, I'm not talking about people that's just not ready to act.
Yeah.
Wasted time and energy, and you're the only person with the empty cup at the end of it.
That's facts.
So we have to be more. In order for us to be accountable, we got to take care of ourselves, because like you've been on a plane. What they tell you when the mask drop down from the ceiling?
Oh, yeah. You got to make sure you strapped up and ready before you even think about anybody else. You make sure you good. You ain't got your mask on, but you trying to worry about somebody else's mask.
And some people be thinking they need help. They really need to be rescued.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be in the right capacity, like I said, on accountable masculinity, to be able to help people. You ain't qualified to rescue nobody.
Yeah.
People got to save themselves, man. You can only just throw them a lifeline here.
And the thing about it, some people that you'll go out the way to trying to save end up drowning you, trying to save them.
And that's why you ain't qualified to rescue nobody. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You ever seen like when people be stranded out to sea? Who come get them people? The Coast Guard.
Coast Guard, yeah. It's somebody. I'm not gonna get you. Let me call the Coast Guard. They'll come get. That's
I
they
be on the phone, fam. You know what I'm saying? I might record it.
Yeah.
But I can't get out there with you. Like, we just gonna have 2 bodies to pick up.
Yeah, I gotta just call and hope they get here in time, man. Because I know I can't do nothing. I'm gonna just be out there with you. I'm out of there.
That ain't your ministry.
For real. That's what's up, man. Well, we over an hour, so I want to kind of tilt it down. But what I want to ask you is, because I know, like you say, you're definitely. I got a twofold question.
Okay.
When you hear toxic masculinity, what do you think about? What does that do to you? Because I already kind of know the answer, but I just want to get this on content. Your comeback for that.
Well, I actually wrote a chapter about toxic masculinity in my first book.
Yeah.
And what I wrote was basically to get the men in check first.
Yeah.
Which is why I followed up with accountable masculinity. See, all words that people like to use as buzz, yeah. I go for a different narrative. You see what I'm saying? Like, on top of that, who defined toxic masculinity?
The system, really, everybody else just ran with it as a word, but
okay, well, the people that covet that word or that phrase more, who do you think that demographic is? Because I ain't got no partners. I'd be sitting around. We'd be talking about toxic masculinity.
Oh no, that's why I say it's the system that, like, they set it up for us to use it against each other. That you know what I'm saying? Like, the people that use it against us, it's not even. It's just a word. Like you say, people that just use words. You talk about that earlier.
Well, what I'm going to say, I'm going to be very direct. The women that came up with toxic masculinity and the ones that co-signed with that are the only people talking about that.
And that was going to be my second to connect it about femininity. I was going to use. That's how I was going to say, because I know you look at. I already see the fact. Just so the toxic masculinity. Then we talk about the feminist. So when you connect those, what do you get?
Oh well, when you do the math on that, women don't have no code. Like, look at when I say that. Look at the frequency. Look at the way they communicate with each other. Versus look at the way men communicate with each other. And the reason I'm saying using these as examples is that men calculate threat with each other. We know who we can work with, and we know who we'll give a chance. The redeeming efforts.
Yeah.
We know what kind of mistakes they could make based on where we found them at, or where we met them at, or whatever space that we met in, got connected with, right? And once that person has revealed who they are, the rest of the community kind of outcast that person without working with them in some way, right? Because last night, 2 nights ago on Code Talk, we had an episode called Trading Work, because that's how men build real bonds with each other. We trade work. I give you something that you could do for me. I do something for you. Like, for instance, when you came by, you picked up the roofing shingles off the duplex. That was me buying into you, investing into you and what you do. You see what I'm saying? And by virtue of that alone, we have a tangible relationship that's anchored on something. You know what I'm saying? Up on something that's not superficial. You know what I'm saying?
Something tangible.
Something tangible.
Yeah.
if we have an argument, we're more inclined to work through the argument. We're more inclined to find a solution. We ain't even talking about arguing, because arguing is just the sake of just disagreeing for no reason. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you really, really just look at the nature of it, right? Are we having an argument to solve the problem, or are we having an argument to get our feelings out? Which one is it? You know what I'm saying? So when you think about that, men work through high testosterone, high stressful situations, under fire, under duress, with their life on the line. You know what I'm saying? Like, uh, very, very significant spots where we have to work with each other, know our vulnerabilities and weaknesses, and we have to have a fair amount of transparency, right? I don't see that in the community of women. I don't see where mothers and daughters really like and support each other. Now, some people don't listen to this, and I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the behavior that folks that misrepresent you display. Some of the things I may say, you may either deal with them directly, experience them, or actually be the person that, you know what I'm saying, perpetuates the cycle. But if you look in your own family and you look at wherever the disconnect is in your family, where all of the misinformation starts and all of the beef start, you'll probably understand my point a little bit better when I say women have no code. They have a code of incompatibility. Okay. Like, I've seen more men dialoguing amongst themselves about solving problems in their local community, whether it be in the intellectual space or the actual real estate space, whatever space that is.
Yeah.
I haven't seen, and men also are very open to being mentored by men who have something completely different. Might be younger than us, might be older than us, different life experiences. We can take different type of criticism from each other once we have the right type of understanding about what the person's background is. I haven't seen women collectively support a mentor that represents women that they respect. You know what I'm saying? So if you can break up relationships over sleeping with the wrong man, um, shoot, fashion choices, bad attitudes, unresolved issues with your own mother, um, and think that you're going to lead a healthy lifestyle that other people want to be around and think that they can work with, that might be true for where you're located at. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that it doesn't happen or it's not happening. I'm just saying in my 43 years and various experiences, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it work where women are in a capacity where they've constructed something so grand that men have to go seek mentorship from them.
Yeah, like I said, I know you'll get down, so that's why I kind of set it up, because I already knew your perspective on it, but I just wanted to, because like when I bring people here, like I say, you do a lot of different things, but I know some things that you're known for. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially in our area, you're known for it, so that's why I want to kind of round it off with that one. But as we close, man, this what do you see yourself in the next 3-5 years? What's the vision? What's the goals? What you out there?
The next 3 to 5 years, I see definitely a more successful version of everything that I currently have. I expect the clothing line to take off and do its thing. I expect the venue create. I expect us to outgrow that and be into something bigger.
Yeah.
I expect uh, a more synchronized business trajectory for myself, because I took a good look of everything that I have between rental cars and the rental property and stuff, and actual mixed use venue, and just the other intellectual pieces surrounding everything else that I do. And I'm currently working on building an investment concierge service, what I'm saying, in the hospitality industry, that brings people to Central Texas, shows them the different real estate opportunities, the other investment opportunities, the networking, and try to create a full-on a service that caters this is something my lady came up with too. She came up with like something to bring men together that can trade, work, and do investments. I want to build workshops off of that. You know what I'm saying? Because like, let's say, like we talked about before when we was up at you know what I'm saying, Cultivate.
Yeah.
Hey, look, we got a lot of talented people already in our network, and we have a brunch or something just like you've already modeled before, but we make it no different than, you know what I'm saying, some kind of a workshop where you come sign up for a week. You're gonna come get these different skills. Each person already has a skill, and they're required to teach two things that they know. You know what I'm saying, from top to bottom. And people should be able to take lessons and actual material, reference material, back with them, so they can go integrate that into their particular model. So, next 3 to 5 years, finding a way to get all of this conversation um, into everybody's workspace, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's philosophy, or just a piece of it. You know what I'm saying? And of course, being able to affect children along the way in positive ways. So, being of more value to my network, I think that is going to give me, you know what I'm saying, what I need to see what the next 3 to 5 years really manifest for me. You know what I'm saying? But like, I'm just doing what I'm doing, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's just staying consistent with it.
Yeah, man, I love it, and like I said, I salute you. You know, I'm supporting anything you got going on. I'm definitely gonna get with you. I'm gonna come on. Matter of fact, I need to go ahead and commit to coming on Cold Talk next week. Maybe one of those days, like you said, Tuesdays and Thursdays, right? Or Tuesdays.
Tuesdays is Code Talk. Elevated Dialogue is on Wednesdays.
Okay.
But you're more than welcome to be a guest on either platform, because I'm all about trading work right now. As a matter of fact, hey, if you're not busy in the next couple of hours, you should come down to Killeen and come see the shop, come meet some of the people, come see the setup. You know what I'm saying, and see what you're working with.
Okay, yeah. I'm after I get done with this, I'm just gonna go feed my chickens, and then I can, you know what I'm saying. But I got like 100 or some eggs. I got some. I got to go sell soon. I get up off this, so that's another little venture I'm into. You know.
Hey, you know what? And it's perfect example. When you gonna handle that, and you come down to the shop, at some point, I want to be able to set up like a farmer's market style. You know what I'm saying? Come buy food.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like farm produced eggs, things of that nature. As a
Yeah.
matter of fact, might be able to sell them to the convenience store that I'm partnered with right now. So that's something to discuss. You know what I'm saying? So, but come down to see the spot.
I'm with that because we definitely need to do that. And like I say, just keep building on this, man. But yeah, I appreciate I appreciate you coming out to do the interview. I mean, you know, coming on to do the interview. I appreciate just the realness and the genuineness it's been since day one. You know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciate that because you know you don't get that all the time. I ain't gonna say I don't get that a lot because I got some genuine people. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's tricky.
All day, bro.
It's tricky out here. Sometimes it gets tricky for no reason. You looking around like, what happened? I don't even know.
Hey,
like, is something we can talk about? What happened? Did I do something? You know what I'm saying?
So that's why we always stay on code. Because when it get tricky, what's understood don't need to be said, baby.
Need to be spoken on, man. So I appreciate you coming out. Go get. I mean, I'm gonna have it in the. Matter of fact, I need you to text it to me so I can put it in the description. But go ahead and verbally shout it out while we on camera still, like the different places they go. I'm gonna put it in the descriptions and stuff, but just tell everybody where they can find you, where they can go buy your book, give them all a rundown on all that.
Okay. The first places that I'm easiest to find is Facebook, and it's by name. You know what I'm saying? This like spelling this up on the actual banner. Matter of fact, can you bring up the other banner which just got my name up? Boom, boom, boom. And then while he's bringing that up, you're gonna see that hashtag that says Code Talk. If you do that and take that to YouTube, you'll find my YouTube page. It'll say The Reasonable Radical. Let's see what else you should check out for. You should look up Elevated Dialogue on the Uncle Junior Network. I'm on that panel. Some other talented brothers is on there, a few different vets, and we got a unique take on life. And that comes on every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Code Talk comes on Tuesdays, Eastern, 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. And what else I got going on? Man, most important thing. Go buy my books.
Yeah.
Go buy my books, man. Look, if you dug everything that I was talking about from the get-go, most of that comes from this right here. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to go get this one. You know, there's a blueprint to solidarity among reasonable Black people. And you see my Cash App consult. I got a few different other things that I do to create passive income. Also, if you got any veterans that need some information, send them my way. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm just here to be a service to my community, man. And you come down and check me out at Create, located at 1315 North 8th Street in downtown Killeen, 76541. So I don't know what else I got right there, man. You know,
Hey, man, you didn't. I was just trying to post the address. You didn't put the Killeen,
let me
Texas.
put the website on there. Yeah, like, hey, look, we still.
Yeah, say the way I'm doing it, you wouldn't think this is my first time. My boy gave me some game at the before I hit go. Now I already I'm feeling like this is my second or third time. Like I'm already into it. You feel me?
Look, man, go to show you when you get new information, when you know better, you do better.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like I told you, you gotta kick in the door for me. Just crack open the window. I got it. I just need a little insight on what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm person. You ain't gotta feed me. Just go and take me down there to where the fish at. I got you. You know what I said? I got you. Let me post this up before we get up out of here. I want to make sure. I just want to make sure that all that get seen across the screen. Like I said, I'm gonna still put all this in the.
Oh yeah, I already know you're gonna dress up and make it pretty.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it out in the description, but I feel better just by seeing it on the screen since I know I can put it on the screen.
Now you got it up there. Hey, look, see, and that's the thing. This is about trading work. Everything you do in your network is about trading work.
Yeah.
People are more willing to give you information if you have something to contribute, man. Be of value, and you know, make somebody else's life easier. Don't be a burden on somebody else.
It's crazy that you said that because I had one of my CEO Youth League students. She was like, she was telling me she wanted to charge to perform a song, and I said, ain't nothing wrong with that. Have your fee, have your price, but what is your value? And she just looked at me because I'm like, it's easy to say I need $100, I need $1,000, I want $10,000 to perform, but that venue that you're at gotta see value because they want to make their money back too. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta pay the bills.
so you can ask for anything, but if that person don't see the value, they're not gonna give it to you. So always be raising your value up. So when you do ask for like when you say $200 for a consultation, I know it's worth it because I know the game that you give out for free. So I can imagine the game that they're gonna get, you know what I'm saying, with the 200. So
I'm still being nice. You know, this is the introductory, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So when somebody see that, they got to be like, I know it's worth it because I see what he do and I know what he stand on and I know what he build every day. I know, you know what I'm saying? I know that. But if you didn't have nothing to show, you didn't have no books, you don't have no work to show, and you ask for 200 people looking at you like, man, what's wrong with him? Like,
no, fam, like it's just real hard to do. Like it's real easy when you wearing your own clothes, you wrote your own books, and somebody else is asking for your attendance so you could tell your story. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That in itself is that's the legacy and equity. You know what I'm saying? Like we talked about.
Go back.
Hey, and if you're confused about what I'm talking about, go back to rule number 1.
Man, that's dope, man. So I appreciate you, man. You keep doing your thing. Like I said, when I get back from feeding my chickens, I'll hit you up, and I just need to shower and stuff. But I'll hit you up and get that going. And let's continue to build, man. You keep doing what you're doing, and I'm here as a supporter. I definitely want to come. I definitely need to get out because we need to set up some events. That's what we definitely need to get installed.
Yeah, you gotta come down.
Yeah, we got to definitely get some events and let everything that goes from there go from there. You know what I'm saying? Like all I gotta do is sometimes just the connection, steady connecting builds everything else. Just us connecting more. Ain't no telling. It's probably stuff that has transpired that we can't even think of right now. You know what I'm saying? It's just the connection gonna bring all that, man. So I love you keep doing what you're doing, man. Any last words for the people before we get out of here?
Nah, man. Hey, Wealth is Gangsta. Dope podcast. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come on your platform. Yes. And to the people that follow your platform, you know what I'm saying? Like getting a chance to be exposed to somebody else that may just need another, you know, a lens on the world, and they can look into mine too. So like if you got somebody, and of course you're already coming on. make sure your people know where they can find you. You know what I'm saying? And then, hey man, I just appreciate the opportunity to be on your platform where I ain't got to be doing all the button clicking.
Yeah. And I'm over here still trying to learn it, but I got it though. But I appreciate you, homie. So I'll be hitting you up in a little bit, man. But thanks for the interview. Thanks for all the content and just well wishes for you and the wifey, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm stepping too soon, but y'all move like wifey and husband.
No, you speaking into existence. You talking?
Okay, because I already know.
All right with that.
Y'all already look like a power couple, so that's why I came off like that. You know what I'm saying?
It's all love. It's coming from a positive place, man. I'm with it.
Yes, sir. All right, bro. I'll holler at you in a little bit, man. Thank you.
One.